For the Christians out there watching the great Dave Weinbaum Show, and for the Christians across America, if you're going to look for spiritual leaders in this world to lead you in the faith, they will not be Tucker Carlson, Nick Fuentes, or Candace Owens. Okay, you're going to have to look for something higher than that, because those people are nothing more than Islamist minions, and I can go into great detail on that whenever Dave wants me to.
Well, we're going to talk about that because my other friend, Mark McCloskey, is a friend of Tucker Carlson, and he's coming around with the other side of this, and it's pretty interesting, quite frankly, to see this, because you've got now you've got a gal named Lori Cardoza-Moore, and she says Tucker is dangerous anti-Semite who's a threat to Jews everywhere. And she wanted she resigned from Heritage Foundation, which is a Christian task force, after Tucker's interview, because they wouldn't do anything about it. And his interview with Nick Fuentes, and Kevin Roberts, who is in charge of Heritage Foundations, is now being considered to being kicked out of Heritage. This is a pretty big story, wouldn't you say?
I will give you Joshua 24:15. He's talking to, again, the ancient Israelites getting ready to head into the promised land. And he said, and I'm paraphrasing a bit here. He said, you can go back to Egypt, worship their pagan gods, live in what their enslavement, what some of you seem to think was comfort. You can do that, or you can follow God and go into the promised land. And he said, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. You choose you this day who you will serve. But as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Okay. The thing that you saw happen with Kevin Roberts, the thing you've seen happen since this whole thing erupted, this whole Tucker Fuentes thing, since it erupted, you've seen two responses. Well, maybe three responses. You've seen the people that say, oh yeah, they're really, those are great spiritual icons. Okay. And you listen to the bile and venom that these people spew. And it's, how can they say that? You've seen the other ones that say, and this is me, okay, have nothing to do with that. What hath light to do with darkness? Have nothing to do with that. And then you've seen the can't we all get along crowd. And this is where Kevin Roberts fell in. And I will tell you this, there are things you and I, if we have a political argument and it's about potholes in the street, we might be able to, you need to fix this street or that one. This is a higher priority because there's more traffic on it. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree on things like this. Some issues are absolutely defining. And if you try to make those middle of the road issues and agree to disagree stuff, which is what Kevin Roberts did, you spend the rest of your time trying to backtrack and trying to cover the last mess that you made, and it doesn't work.
Well, it's hard to argue with God. It really is. I mean, okay,
I wouldn't try.
So you don't like it, and God wants you to do this. I find it very hard that you're going to fight against him.
Yeah, it has not worked out well for humanity.
It doesn't make a lot of good sense to me. And God told me I'm a Jew, and He gave the orders from that Moses had. He gave it to him, the 10 Commandments, and I'm supposed to be loyal to who? To God. Worship no other.
And we can definitely follow up on with the fact that no, not a single one of us does that without stumbling. Okay, so we can go down that route and talk about that, because that's true. However, they are still the 10 Commandments. They are still the truth. Okay?
Nobody has adjusted that.
And so
God didn't come back and say, and besides which, you should also worship him, her, and whatever.
These are not the 10 suggestions. Okay, so yes, we worship God and Him alone. You and I can talk about the three persons of the Trinity, because in the very beginning of Genesis, it says, let us create man in our own image. That's a plural. We can go there. We can talk about Isaiah 53. But for the moment, the discussion is between the Judeo-Christian principles on which America was founded.
I agree with you on at least the issue that people think it's okay, not to obey God and to do something else, because I can't do that. I can't as a Jew. I can't go
We
against
we,
God.
we all do that. So the point is, we all do that, and we're fallen. Okay, we stumble. We all need forgiveness. We all need grace. We all need
I
redemption.
agree. I do too.
Because I
I
mean,
don't do it as much as I used to, but
even Dave Weinbaum makes mistakes. Okay, even Chris Adamo. I know this is going to shock you, but I screw up.